copy. RP stated that there's a male in the home and that he's going to wait for his wife. RP stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David and that he is a friend. RP sounded somewhat confused.
So, LGBTQ icon Paul Pelosi. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. So I'm okay. So what happened is that there was a story that came out that Paul Pelosi was attacked in his home by a MAGA. And it seemed like a perfect story for good old Paul Pelosi, who, by the way, also had that drunk driving thing that happened where he got the good old slap on the wrist. Keep the limp wrist thing in mind for the rest. And it all just seemed so perfect with midterms coming up. Just the perfect way to demonize the right MAGA crowd as they completely started to really put the left in the dust in a lot of key areas, despite the best efforts to propagandize the facts about how much of a disaster Biden's administration has really been since they came into power. And let's just okay. Don't put it past political parties to not take advantage of an opportunity when they see it. This is the 911 call from Paul Pelosi.
Way. A priority 910 2640 Broadway, cross of Scott and Normandy. I have a 14-hour copy. RP stated that there's a male in the home and that he's going to wait for his wife. RP stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David and that he is a friend. RP sounded somewhat confused. 12 over back up.
Units code 3 at 2640 Broadway for 14-hour.
Cover 12 over copy. 50-hour also code 3.
Cover 112 advising sufficient units on scene 2640 Broadway. Special call medic 66, location 2640 Broadway.
So do you hear the cops say that? They're like, he says he doesn't know him, but his name's David. And that he's a friend. So I'm confused. At least you're not confused about your sexuality. But I don't think Paul Pelosi is either. I think he's very much in touch with it. But this is what we've learned. This is what we've learned about what actually happened. Number one, the assailant was in his underwear. That, from, as you can hear from the dispatch, that Paul Pelosi knew who he was and described him as a friend. Aren't they always? I bet he was a special friend. The assailant, while in his underwear, asked where Nancy was to make sure she was at home. Which, why would she be? And that Pelosi took a bathroom break from being assaulted to make the 911 call. Now, it's pretty obvious what happened here. Paul Pelosi is a drunk. We know that. When he's intoxicated, apparently, he has no issue with sucking dick. And this is a gay encounter that clearly went wrong. That's a reason why they won't turn over any of the video footage to the police, because, he's a rich guy in a big house with surveillance cameras all over the place. They won't turn that over to the police. I wonder why that is. And also then you get this. This is some of the neighbors who were interviewed.
Was out of commission. I was walking past and Gypsy's son was with a small little girl and he was on the bus, and the little girl and Gypsy's son were walking away from the bus, and the guy remained on the bus, and that's when I recognized his face. That's the only time I ever saw his face, was within like the last month or so, or a couple weeks.
Do you know how long he stayed during that? A couple months ago?
No, we try to just avoid them at all costs.
Okay.
Until they, bother us.
Okay, but so the last time you saw him was a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
and he was here for a few days.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything strange about him, or anything that stood out?
There's something strange about the whole household. The entire household is very, very strange.
How about him?
He is birds of a feather with akin to them. So they are just, nudist drug abusers, and that's who gravitates toward them.
And the children who lived there, they seem to be underage or under 18.
I'm not sure how old they are.
Okay.
And Tricia, again, what do you say their politics are?
I'm not sure. I would imagine that they're more left-leaning because of their support for the gay community and for, I'm sorry, for other people. But it is, now I'm not sure what way they lean because
they have the flag, the LGBT flag with the
Yeah,
pot.
yeah.
So.
But any signs of anti-Semitism?
they are completely unhinged, so I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah.
Nothing that they believe in aligns with their actions. So they'll say that they are, pro Black Lives, and then they'll call the police on Black people. And so they don't stand by, their actions don't stand by their words.
So some paranoid behavior, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
absolutely.
And
They're
almost
very
and some
skeptic.
psychotic behavior too.
Yes.
Okay.
Was that also demonstrated when David was the president, or was that
Yeah,
times when
yeah. It's never changed how they've acted.
David acted the same way?
From what I saw of him, he's never approached me or my partner at all. But I've just seen him helping out around the house with yard work, and then I saw him living on the bus. I've never even heard him speak.
Did you know his name, or you just recognize
I
his
didn't
picture?
recognize his name, but I also don't know the name of the kids either.
Okay, you just recognize his picture from today.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
That is him.
We think he's the father of some of them, or do we?
Not sure at all, but if he is, their mom told me that there was abusive nature in their father, so if it is him, then he has abused his own children.
What's your full name, please?
I can't. I don't want to
Just
share
Trish,
that.
those? Fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Sounds MAGA to me with the gay flag and the chants of Black Lives Matter from the household of the totally not gay lover. Listen, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't want you guys to think that I'm coming on here saying that there's something wrong with Paul Pelosi liking to take a couple trips down the chocolate highway. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he doesn't like a good Hershey Kiss mustache every now and then, and that there's something wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. But there's something wrong when your personal life continues to go down the drain so publicly, and then your wife uses it as political fodder right around the time of an election. It's almost like it was so perfect that this happened. And another thing that made it so incredibly perfect was Joe Biden's response to it. And Joe Biden's response to it was that after the Paul Pelosi assault, Joe Biden claimed that January 6th chants were used by people. Now, the chant in question is, "Where is Nancy?" Which, based upon the previous information, is clearly in relation to the guy in his underwear asking Paul where Nancy is, which is a known fact of the case. But they've used that now as sort of like some connector to the biggest and most dangerous day in the history of democracy, January 6, 2021, where exactly one person died. Most dangerous day in democracy. So just don't be fooled by any of this stuff. Don't let this LGBTQ hero, Paul Pelosi, tell you that this was a MAGA attack when there's an election coming up in a week? Okay? Today is October the 31st. Happy Halloween. Ironically, the masks are coming off. But in 8 days, there is the midterm elections. So don't allow this to like sway people. Make sure that you put it out there, put the facts out there of the case, and let people draw logical conclusions, or let them fight against logic, and that'll only hurt them further in the long run, because when you actively fight against the most logical conclusion, all you're doing is injuring yourself. So don't injure yourself. Don't let other people injure you, unless it's, of course, a pain is pleasure type of thing that I'm sure Paul Pelosi was experiencing. Oh, Jesus. Lord help me. There's the subscribe button. And then I got recommended videos on either side of my head. Oh, yeah. Do that stuff. Thumbs up the video. Subscribe to... Yeah.